All right, once again, we return. We're here. It's Monster Hearts, it's Wictiv, it's the Gauntlet, it's all of these wonderful expanded cast of gods tonight. Due to unforeseen technical difficulties, last session was eaten by the internet, but that's okay. It was just a sad funeral. No one wants to see sad funerals. Pick your own sad song, sort of listen to it a couple of times, really get into the feel of it, and that's sort of what it was. We'll go forward, we'll have confrontations, we'll have sexy times, we'll have, I don't know, confusing talks about spider granites and the more horrible things that spiders are going to flow out of, because spiders, they're just spiders everywhere. I don't get it. Why am I in a game with so many spiders, you guys? What's happening? Why are you doing this to me?
Patrick,
Okay.
We need to talk about your obsession with spiders.
I don't know. I just feel like I'm seeing them everywhere I look.
That's deeply concerning.
I know. It's crazy. Where could that be coming from? We have various and sundry levels of cosplay going on tonight. I have nails. They're marble. They're cool. Wonder and awe in them. Alex went so much further. Say words so you show up.
Oh, hello, Alex. They, them. Got a fancy glove, nail polish, feathers everywhere. There's a feather, earring, but I'm not sure if you can see it under the headphones.
Oh, nice. Well, I wish anyone else had gone to any sort of trouble for their visual presentation tonight, but it's just the two of us. So we are back for the finale of this month of Do No Wrong, of our sort of over-the-top, bombastic Imperial Phase analog sort of feel. So let's see what happens. We'll start with going around and getting elevator pitch character introductions, what happened last on with your character, and sort of what you're interested in pursuing for tonight. And then we'll get into it. And I'm going to start right in the middle for no reason. My eye was just drawn. I can't pick out why, but David, why don't you start with Oz?
Why do you have to pick me out? There's nothing, abnormal about me. So I'm playing Oz, or Osiris. He is a person who basically has kind of found out that everything he ever believed in was a lie, and that anyone he ever knew is never going to talk to him again. And basically doesn't have any concept of what a good idea or a bad idea is anymore. And then he became a god. Nothing can go wrong with this.
Yeah, that sounds about right. You had a really successful birthday party for a 12-year-old. There was at least one child there that didn't end up crying, probably. You had fun times down in the underground with your cinema, and a lot of interactions with Father Richards. Everyone's had horrible interactions with Father Richards. He's sort of a dick. Yeah. But yeah, what do you have going on? What are you looking forward to?
Oh, honestly, so much has happened since the last time I've been in the session. I'm not sure. Actually, I've barely interacted with any of the characters in this game so far. We know I have a crush on Enma, which I'd love to see that play out. I'd love to see conversations with Pluto. Agnes, we have this weird thing where right before Vesta died, there was this love triangle, quadrangle, pentagram going on. That was pretty fucked up. So yeah, there's definitely a lot going on, and I'm not even sure where Oz has been recently. So we gotta figure that out.
All right. So you're not quite sure. Has he been around but out of scene, or do you think out of town?
I think it's possible that he may have encountered Ra and has been chatting it up with Ra, and probably having his head messed with by the enemy. Because that's not hard to do.
Cool. Well, feel free to poke at that or lay that out in scenes if you want to, and we'll try and see what's going on there. We'll go Lauren. What about Angus?
I think Angus got the condition distracted boyfriend last time, which I think sums up his character very well. He's very like dirtbag Romeo. There's a lot of kneeling in front of people and swearing himself to others. Because I think really he's just a bit scared and afraid of what's going to happen. So I think he like attaches himself to people, particularly since he saw visions of a lot of ritual sacrifice and blood, which he is a fan of, but only if it's consensual. And I think Vesta died, needed a lot of sad grieving and moping, and managed to get through to Father Richards. And I don't know, I feel like my MO mostly for the session with him is just to try and trigger my sex move a lot to turn people dark as self for this finale to see how wrong things can go.
Exciting.
So yeah, we'll be looking forward to not just like sort of both metaphoric or like whatchamacallit, not literal, figurative like triggering sex moves, as well as using it more like I don't know. That's whatever. That's my MO today. I'm rambling.
All right. So let's consider that we're going to be a couple weeks forward from the funeral from last session. So last time in that mysterious in between, we saw a lot of like sparkle eyes and anime love bubbles when Angus was looking at Pluto. Do you think that's gone anywhere in the interim, or do you think that was just a like heat of emotions at a funeral sort of crush?
Ooh, good question. I feel like Pluto probably hasn't reciprocated or shown any interest.
Brian, how do you feel about, would Pluto reject that because of the whole Eris thing, or would Pluto be open to it?
I mean, I already went into such deep mourning for Eris that I literally died, so I'd be up for a rebound.
Oh, sweet. Then yeah, perhaps I think like it was probably a mix of like very pining, like unrequited longing, moping, and I don't know, maybe some entanglement with Pluto. Because I think as Angus cried last time, this is the first time someone's like really believed in him since like he was a tag along with Vesta, and Vesta dumped him because he wasn't cool enough, and Enma likewise ran off and did other things without him, so he's been abandoned this whole time. So it feels really good to have someone say, no, I believe in you and you can do this. So he's
and we explored a good bit of Pluto's strong and supportive belief in other people. So Ryan, why don't you tell us about Pluto?
So Pluto, what do I need to go into here? Basically the syncretic god of everything underground, underworld, death, wealth, whatever, and especially horror granites, which is in the Pantheon tab, and I love that. There's spiders, there's rot, we don't know. That they keep popping up in his wake because that's just his thing now. And yeah, he encountered somebody wearing his boyfriend's skin and let that person rip out and eat his heart. And he's back now. Everything's awesome. But everything is all his fault. And he's got a lot of guilt tied up in there. And he believes in all of you. But he does not believe in himself because clearly he should have stopped any of this from happening. And last time he yelled at a priest, but that probably didn't work out well for him. Yeah,
I mean, Angus did it better, but Angus was wearing feathers, so, like, it's hard to compete with that, really. Let's see. Pluto's also had a fraught relationship with... with Nyx, who is back, still not being sort of in charge of things like she was before, but is around if people want to talk to / want to have talked to her. There was an infiltration and attack from Ra and the Suntheon deep in the underground station that is the Pantheon's sort of like home ground. They found Nyx down there. They attacked her. She hasn't really talked about that. She's missing an eye. There's sort of like an infinite star field in part of her face. So you assume she's missing an eye. She's missing part of her face. She seems to be missing a lot of things. Or maybe, I don't know. It's weird. Talk to her about it. Who knows? Out there is Ryan.
I forgot the most important thing that I'm sure that Pluto has told everyone in the interim. The way to beat the Suntheon is to get all their skulls, preferably out of their heads. I don't know all the deets because Nyx was gibbering madly, but we gotta do some skull collecting.
But you're quite sure that was step 1. Step 3, big profits. Who knows what's in between? All right. So yeah, there's nonsense going on there. We'll see how it lays out. Swooping all the way back around to Alex, newly redheaded, excitingly beloved. Tell us of Enma and their glories.
Oh man, Enma, anime come to life. Last time, ate a person, and then pledged to hunt down more souls. So, I mean, that happened.
Yeah, no, true. That was definitely a thing. There was like a whole big thing. There was musical performances. There were like feels and a funeral, and it was messed up. So, in the in between time, you had your first loyal and faithful knight, Angus, who had sworn himself eternally to you, but then you got sort of like weird and murdery and preachy about being better than and liking and subscribing or something like that. And so Angus went off and did sparkly eyes at Pluto for a while. How are you feeling about that, though?
Wow, I mean, that is incredibly rude.
Yeah, like,
and souls are delicious.
You knighted him with your own laser sword.
Yeah. Well, I mean, those who are knighted by the laser sword get judged by the laser sword.
It's, as the ancient saying goes. I have not words. Okay. The chat has killed the game. All right, we're going to get back into it. We can make it through this, you guys. I believe in us. Someone has to believe in us. Okay.
So, by Prometheus Gambit rules, Barry has killed Patrick and now takes over the game.
Oh, shit. I am not prepared for that. This is an ideal circumstance.
It's non-stop character changes for Barry. Whew. Okay. So, yes. Okay. Good. We have a hunger. That's the other thing with Vesta's untimely demise. You were infected with the ghouls' hunger move, a hunger for more souls, more judgment, an influx of that power. And, well, I mean, since your first meal was a god, I hardly think that, like, mortals are really going to fill that ache very well. So, it's good. We have a target. We have something going on. It sounds fun. You have plenty of opportunity to have heard about Ra and the Suntheon from the others. I know Enma hadn't like interacted much with them on screen, but what's your take on that? Does that interest you? Are you afraid for yourself? Are you afraid for the Pantheon? Do you consider yourself a part of the Pantheon? More questions.
I mean, they're kind of interesting. No one can ever hurt me, and of course, I'm not part of this lame Pantheon.
Nice. Small detail. Your whole self-incarnation thing, that was, of course, the prophetic trigger that caused Ra to break out of his cage and come wreak her vengeance across all of you and London and, like, sun-fearing folk, or whatever.
Oh, nice.
Just, something to take with you.
So really, right, owes me one.
Let's see you collect on it. All right, Barry. Why don't you tell us about Khonshu, isn't it? Oh crap!
Yep.
I've forgotten names. Oh,
That is correct. You got it. Got it in one. Khonshu is a new god that Nyx incarnated to have a tool to use against the Suntheon. Has been taking taking social cues from Pluto, and what I kind of want to do this session is. I'm playing the Hollow, and so I want to wind up the condition machine and just see where that takes me. I know that I've got two things that I want to start doing, and that is one. The first thing that Pluto did last game is to talk shit at an old man, and I'm ready to proceed in those footsteps. My cold is awful, so that ought to be a good start. And then I can wind up and just go in whatever direction that takes me. I also have an idea of something that I think Khonshu might do about the whole Father Richard situation, but it leans on the miraculous, and I'm not sure when the right time to go to that is going to be.
Oh no, not miracles. Oh, I hate big splashy sci-fi stuff. So what's the general shape of your idea, and maybe we can find ways to angle towards it.
Well, sure. There was something about the way that that Father Richard's in all his sunny glory during the last session, the light had just changed on him enough such that it was obvious that he was just an old man. And Khonshu, as it happens, is a god of lifespans, which is not good for Father Richard's, maybe.
Interesting.
Okay. we all get 2 years at this, but that doesn't mean that he's not already put enough miles on, so to speak.
Cool. I love that. Playing with perception and age and infirmity and all of that. That sounds interesting.
So that's an idea that I had. I'm not quite sure how I want to how or whether to or where to work that in. So
I think it's certainly a crack that y'all found in his armor last time at the funeral. There was that sort of thing of you made him look very human and normal in front of this congregation that he was impressing and in front of y'all, and you saw that true emotional artistry, sort of music and deep soulfulness can actually crack through to him. It's not something he thought y'all were capable of, and you sort of showed him otherwise last time, or Angus did at least.
Also, oddly, I believe in Angus now, so that's a thing. Thanks, Pluto.
Nice. All right. So I think we'll start in with Oz. It sounded like you're interested in going to talk to Enma, and Enma has been less a part of the underground and the Detheon and all of your sort of home stuff. Taking all those names. Done. Love them. So do you think you want to go see Enma? Does that sound good? Are you there? Uh-oh. Dave?
Oh, I thought you were talking to Barry.
Oh, sorry. Moved on sneakily to Oz.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Oz would totally go see Enma.
Cool. Do you think? Do you see this as being somewhere that's very Oz or somewhere that's very Enma?
Oh, Oz would totally go to the trouble to go see Enma.
So Alex, do you think this is the clock tower, or where do you think this is?
I think it is in the clock tower, but there's been some changes to it in that it's flown higher into the sky, and the broken shards from when Pluto destroyed some of it
Mhm.
are like floating as like a pathway. You have to jump from one platform to the next to get up there.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. You're going through like a Prince of Persia, Tomb Raider sort of level climb.
Yeah.
So yeah, how would Oz approach this like impossible flying platform jumping approach?
Part of me wants to say pogo stick, and the other part of me just says walk.
Divine pogo stick. Should we go there? I'm totally down for it.
Fuck, that's just too silly not to choose. Like, yeah, why the fuck not? I think Oz is like, how am I supposed to do this? Pogo stick.
And we just have the like overhead sort of bird's eye map view and the like laser line of your pogo stick going from obstacle to obstacle all the way up into the doorway. So you're there. You're in Enma's floating, flying, shard platforming tower of clocks and weirdness. It's upside down, by the way, so there's that. Gravity is who knows at this point.
That was a lot more fun than I thought it would be.
Oh, you're welcome.
Oh, yeah, so Oz kind of blushes, but he has no actual color in his cheeks, so it's like, so yes, sorry I haven't been around much. I've how have you been?
Oh, me. I've been doing wonderfully. Thank you very much for asking. I've been learning a lot in these past few weeks. Like how everyone betrays you and you can't trust anyone.
Oh. I guess that makes sense. Did something happen?
Oh, just, the people I thought were my devoted followers who would follow me to the ends of the earth have kind of fucked off for a while.
Huh. You know what they're doing?
I mean, one of them is standing here asking me questions.
Oz looks around.
Are you trying to shut down the impossible doof, or was that just a glancing blow?
Who knows?
It's you. It's why I'm asking you.
Okay, yeah, fair. Sure, I'm down.
All right, so dig the knife in a little bit there. You obviously haven't quite caught his attention.
That is a 12.
God, what does that sound and look like?
What's that, sorry?
What does that sound like?
What does that sound like?
How do you shut him down?
Oh. Someone who sees everything as you do. You've been far too grey for far too long.
Calling him out on his style. Oh my god. It's harsh, man. All right, so shut someone down. On a 10 up, choose one from below.
Conditions are always fun. I kind of like the idea of grayscale. It's like the never committed.
Nice.
Luckily, you didn't call me unlovable or unpopular.
How is that lucky?
Uh, because
What?
it has
Nothing?
big effects on Oz if you do.
That's not secret weaknesses
Oh.
or anything like that. Shh. It is secret weaknesses.
Like,
All right.
oh, you're talking about me. Oh, yeah. I was somewhere where I don't know. They didn't want me to leave, and there were a lot of them, and they're pretty strong. And I mean, they weren't going to hurt me because that's really hard to do. But you know, they wanted to finish saying what they had to say, and some of it made sense.
Oh, so pretty strong is just far stronger than your level of commitment, I see.
Well,
Why are you here, Oz?
I missed you. I'm gonna try to turn you on. I think that's like super sincere puppy dog eyes.
Nice. Get the zoom in and the sort of wobble.
Like the manga blush lines.
And that is a 7. And because of a move, you choose 2 from the 7 to 9 list.
So yeah, you've got 2 choices there, Enma, of either giving a string or the options below that.
Oh. I mean, it's Enma, so you've really done yourself a disservice here. But I'll give you a string, and I'll promise you. You know what? Fine. You can stay with me. We can clear up a problem together. It'll be just like the old times. You, me, and Angus, back together again.
Wait, when did that happen? I mean, it's okay, but
When we're all making out in the cinema about 3 weeks ago. Good times.
don't remember making out with Angus, but okay.
All right. So do you want to push on that any further, Oz? Is there anything you want to spin that string on now?
Oh fuck. Yes. So the people I was talking to actually were kind of interested in talking to you, though. I'm offering you a string if you come with me to talk to Ra.
Oh.
Because that is a terrible idea.
So that's an XP, a shiny, shiny XP.
It is a shiny, shiny XP. Fine, let's do it. I want to see Ra anyways.
Nice. Okay, so we're going to skip over to, I think, an obviously sweet, tender, touching scene between Angus and Pluto that probably won't go wrong in any way. So, Angus, you're the sort of relationship driver, I think, here for this one. So where do you think this scene is?
Oh gosh. I kind of want to say it's in my room, is because that's the only place that I am very familiar with outside of like funerals. Or maybe it's what is Pluto's room like again?
I don't know. We haven't seen a like private sort of bedroom sort of area for Pluto. What would that look like, Ryan?
I think it initially looked sort of like just, random room in the underground that shouldn't be there, sort of like Persephone's crash room. You see that. Except that it's got pomegranates popping up all over the place, like they could be potted plants, except they're clearly glowing out of concrete in ways that don't make any sense at all. Like there's like almost a tree canopy in the room and that shouldn't exist.
Are they like growing down out of the ceiling and glowing a little bit to give ambient light?
Definitely.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That sounds right as hell. Let's go there.
So I'm curious. We're coming in on a scene between the two of you. Is this a just like normal talking head scene, or is this like a afterglow in bed scene? Because we could start with triggering sex moves and see where that goes.
Oh, interesting. What do you feel like, Ryan?
I have nothing to lose, given that I have no integrity regardless, so I'm fine with whatever.
So, that's the best reason to go for it, because you've got nothing to lose from sleeping together.
Apart from everything.
Yes, healthy relationships. We are masters of them.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, why don't we get it out there? Ryan, why don't you read Pluto's sex move?
So, when you lay your head in someone's lap, they take +1 forward to protecting you. But if you have sex, erase all your integrity. So, I have no integrity, but consider it re-erased.
But I bet you had a ton right before, though. Like, you had a bunch of integrity that you were going to spend on awesome stuff this session.
True, I probably did a lot of super hospitable and whatnot, moral high ground stuff in the intervening time. But it doesn't count.
Just all out the door.
I will say,
yeah.
I will say, if you wanted it to be sweeter, it could be like me feeding you pomegranate with your head in my lap. If you wanted it to be sweet, or it could just be really.
We can say I lost integrity, and also you get the +1 forward to protecting me or something. I'm totally down for bringing in eating rotten pomegranates. That is so gross.
Yeah, let's make the poor artist draw these things as many times as possible.
Oh, I imagine pomegranates are like the worst to draw as well, because like the seeds and stuff. Yeah, especially like rotten ones, because you gotta sort of like give the impression of them being kind of soft and like fermenty.
So Angus, what's your sex move?
Oh yeah, I just turned someone darkest self after the next time they take your eyes off of you, they become their darkest self. Oh.
So Ryan, that's sort of up in the air, but just hold that in reserve, and whether you feel like it's the first time you glance a different direction in the room or like the next time you part or something like that, decide when you think that hits, and we'll go through a lovely darkest self moment for you. So yeah, Angus, what are you saying to Pluto?
Yeah, I probably see Pluto as like kind of like the confidant. Like I haven't seen Pluto kill anyone, which makes them immediately trustworthy. And so I'm probably processing. Like it's I probably like carve off like a chunk of pomegranate and like feed it to Pluto, who's like got his head rested in my lap. And there's like the faint glow of like these rotten pomegranates like coming down on us. They're very like neon against the dark, right? And otherwise it's very dimly lit, and not at all metaphoric of like the feelings that I'm having right now, and like all the grief that I'm processing. And I say to Pluto, what do you think will become of us? How can we reclaim ourselves in these dark times? I feel so lost and meandering, and yet I feel firmly grounded when I'm in your presence, much like these, like I sort of gestured like the rotten pomegranate trees, right?
Just take a moment to process the romantic confessions under the soft mood lighting of rotten spider granites. I'm super tempted to grab prophecy here because you're asking me to foresee something, and that is the unicorniest of unicorn moves.
Ooh, that sounds exciting.
Rotten pomegranate has triggered gazed into the abyss before. So
It's true. I was going to ask that in a minute, but if we want to go to prophecy instead, I think that's totally
Sweet.
on
I am
genre.
smacking it onto my character sheet. If I can figure out how you bold text. Whatever, it's on there.
All right, so why don't you read prophecies off to us?
So, when you predict the outcome of someone else's action well before they undertake it, roll with integrity, which I've got none of. And then erase one integrity after you roll, assuming that you had any to erase, which I don't. On a 10-up, my prediction of success or failure comes true. On a 7 to 9, the prophecy comes true, but an innocent will pay a terrible price. On 6-, bad things happen, probably.
Yeah, we'll just assume that. So you're going to be rolling with nothing, but before you roll, I'm interested in seeing who is your prophecy about and what is it?
So, kind of casually eating rotten spider granites, like you do. Everything. Pluto gets kind of a far-off look in his eyes, and they take on that kind of void look, where it's not Nyx's starry void. It's just, like, deep, cavernous, like, somewhere deep underground that's never actually seen light. Like, they go on forever, but they're pitch black. It says that the only way for us not to be subsumed by this other pantheon is to kill them and take their skulls. And the first to do that is going to be Enma. Zeus. Oh my goodness, conjugating pronouns. Z's the only one among us likely to successfully do that. Because he may have already made a move.
Then you roll, right? Or
Yep. So now we're going to get a roll as you're calling out your prophecy of Enma can succeed in this like bloody quest against the Suntheon.
Oh, I'm going to add in more that one of them appears to take people's skins, and the only logical person to fight that is someone who keeps taking over others' lives. I mean, Enma has to defeat Huitzilopochtli.
Nice. Okay.
Oh, come on, darn you. Roll dice. That's an 8. Ha!
Nice. So what was the 7 to 9 again?
On a 7 to 9. If the action is attempted, my prophecy will come true, but an innocent will pay a terrible price. So, take of that what you will, but I totally predict that Enma is gonna kill our skin stealer.
Nice.
I think like we get that like Spider-Man Mary Jane shot, right? It was like sort of as Angus like gazes down at Pluto, like probably like uses his free hand. It's probably like a little bit sticky to like cup Pluto's and like gazing down at Pluto, and he says, I'm saddened to hear that more death must take place in order for us not to be subsumed into it. But know this. I will protect you. I will put myself before you and anything else to keep you safe. You're a treasure amongst this pantheon, all pantheons. And it would be at such a loss without you. Can I gaze into the abyss as well?
Yeah, I was thinking you were going for a turn someone on, which you were being quite good at, but no, you wanna take his like lingering prophecy and gaze further into it?
Yeah.
Cool.
And I totally like lift my slightly sticky hand like off of Pluto's face and like carve out like another piece of pomegranate and like eat it.
God, these fucking horror granites. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I think we start with your question.
Oh yeah, I think my question is like,
Name what you're looking for. So it could be a question or something vaguer, but yeah.
I'm looking for. I kind of want to. I think so. I think like what I'm hearing is, yes, Enma is going to be like the champion who will take down like the Suntheon. Like that's going to be the thing that kind of saves us. I think I want to know like, ooh, I kind of want to like get a feeling for Pluto's safety in this because I know Enma's already cannibalized like one of our own, right? So I think my question is like, yeah, around like sort of and Enma's cannibalism of like the rest of our pantheon. Like, she is they're gonna stop there, you know?
Gotcha. So you want to sort of figure out some of Enma's motivations and potential future.
Yeah, if that's okay.
Yeah. So go ahead and roll with dark.
Ooh, this is gonna go so badly.
I'm excited.
I got snake eyes, so that's a 1.
That's beautiful. That's so good. That's
Can
the
I
best
attempt
choice.
to believe in you even though I have no integrity, or would you rather fail and get experience?
You can believe in me; it's totally fine.
Sweet.
You did promise me you would.
Oops. Heck. Where's the thing? That's a 9, so you get a 7 to 9 result now.
Sweet.
All right. And is there any fallout on your end, Ryan?
Only if I get a 6. There's no result for that, so I assume that means that I'm invested and it's bad.
Cool.
Nope. I believe in
him. So yeah, Ryan, what do you see from Angus that tells you something is, or I suppose Pluto, what do you see from Angus that tells you something is tipping over the edge there? Like what makes you dive in and believe in him?
I don't think that I even really wait for a sign that it's not working, because I do believe in him, deeply, and I look to him for this prophecy, which I know is going to come out, and almost immediately, like, even though maybe he's not triggering a good prophecy or anything, the weight of my expectancy and knowing that and being tied to these pomegranates and stuff probably helps me do that.
Oh my god,
this isn't
that's
gonna work,
adorable.
but I'm making it work.
That's like the cutest thing that ever.
Yes, the cutest spider granite. There you go.
All right, so on a 7 to 9, the Abyss shows you confusing and alarming visions, but you get your answer nonetheless. So you take a bite of this spider granite, and the like horrible black fermented juices are flowing down your throat, and you tasting them. However, you seem to like it, so I'm gonna guess there's something you get out of that.
I just
What's
realized that I lied again.
Uh-oh.
Because Angus
What
has a
happened?
-1 to dark. I can fix the roll, but I can't fix his -1 to dark. So I believe in him, but it's still going to go bad. It says that you change their roll to a 7, but Angus has a -1 dark, so it still comes out to a 6. Unless
I'm
you wanna make
assuming
it not
it's
that
the
way.
outcome.
Sweet.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna say it's with the outcome. That makes more sense to me for the move. So yes, this taste it takes you back to the last time you tasted these pomegranates, the last time that reality and time sort of stripped away and open up to you, and you see yourself kneeling in front of Enma there in the grove in your garden out in the horror granite trees. And Enma is there in Zercrown and robe and badass anime armor, I think, at that point. And there's like a floating crown of light sort of swirling around her head. And oh my God, it's amazing. And you're saying your oath. You're swearing yourself to her. You're pledging your eternal loyalty. And as you do, Z brings the sword down. Z brings it down to knight you, and instead a look of rage and fury comes over her face, and the sword thrusts forward directly through your heart. You feel this burning in your chest, and Z leans in right into your face and says, "You fucker, you're the one I'm coming for." So, you've got an idea of what Enma's plans might be.
I love that.
So we're gonna move forward out of that. And Barry, it sounded like Khonshu was sort of wanting to meet up with Pluto. Is that right?
I think what I want to do is now that I've seen Father Richards and like I know we talked a little bit about like Khonshu being like very much in control of this vessel and really subsuming Susanna, but I think that the circumstances of the funeral being being Catherine, someone that she had a real connection to, is probably enough to make me question what's going on with this. And so I think that I want to go confront Nyx about this. Because I know that old people wielding godly powers seems like a bad thing, and if
oh God, who gave the olds magic?
And exactly, and if she made if she did this to me, it has to have been for something, and I wanna find out what that is, and if not, then I'm gonna tell her off.
Cool. So. Are you storming in to confront Nyx alone, or do you bring someone with you? Either is fine. Just getting a sense.
I have a string on Pluto, so I will spend that to give Pluto an XP if he'll help me help guide me through the underground to where Nyx is.
I totally will, and along with my guilt of last time I tried this, I ended up getting my heart physically removed from my body. Leaving Angus means that I'm going to be a really mopey unicorn leading you through the underground.
This is ideal.
It's tragic, but you felt that like warmth and comfort and that feeling of home and safety there in the soft glow of the hanging horror granites in your bed together, and now you're out here in the Underdark, in the world, in the cult Underdark, in the underground, in the cold with Susanna. This I don't know what you think of her, but she's really just a nobody in the Pantheon so far. And so, why don't you read off your darkest self for us?
So that's it. Everything keeps falling apart, and you can't hold it together anymore. You aren't good enough. So beg the forgiveness everyone you failed, and show them how sorry you are before the curtain falls. Don't seek their acceptance. You don't deserve it. You escape your darkest self when someone reflects to you a glimmer of your own self-worth.
So yeah, why did you agree to this? Why are you leading him down to Nyx? I mean, what's even the point of trying to go forward with this?
I've been trying so hard to lead this Pantheon and to do what we need to do and to get instructions from Nyx because she can't handle this anymore. And look how well that's turned out. I've failed every time. But I have to help let somebody else kind of take the wheel here because there's no way that I can save all of you.
So it's very like a hands up in the air, fuck it, you try.
Yeah, I mean, I can't help. Clearly, everything I've done has fallen apart. but I can't navigate underground because that's my purview. So maybe I can help a little.
At least you hope. I mean, maybe,
Or maybe
you
I
won't
can get
fail
her
at it
killed
this
too.
time.
Weep, weep.
Anything could happen. So yeah, Khonshu, where do you think you find Nyx? Like, what's the setting look like underground here?
Oh, I don't know whether any of those, like any of the wards and stuff that were in place before Huitzilopochtli had invaded the underground. I don't know if any of those are still in place. If we're still dealing
for it.
with the like the former gods in the or the, I don't know how to describe it. Kind of like the shells of former gods that we had seen before.
I think the shallow graves of bad decisions past are definitely a theme for this pantheon,
Yes.
so we can go for that.
And so I think that where we find her is deep in the underground through a lot of that. And sorry, I'm floundering a little bit.
No, it's cool. Who do you think the god or two that y'all had to get past was?
I really like it being I'm gonna say probably not that. But thank you, Alex. I would be devastated. I can't do it. It's the worst. Sorry. No, I really like it being the mythical heroes, and like your demigods, your Hercules, your Gilgamesh, your getting things doneers, people who would have had a much better shot at this than either of us mopes.
Nice. So we had sort of a glancing mention of Gilgamesh previously. Do you like the idea of like Hercules and Gilgamesh, the undead buddy cop story?
I love it.
Cool. So you have a very like, Jesus, what is happening?
Sorry.
We have divine merch.
Sorry, it's the dumbest. I apologize.
It's amazing. It's the bestest. I have weird marble nails. David has a spider on his head. There is no bottom to this. It's all amazing.
Wait a second. I have what?
Nothing. Don't worry about it. I was just
okay.
I was saying your new headphones look nice. So yes, I lost the track of where we're going.
Into the underground.
Indeed.
Corpses of better heroes than us.
That's right. Very punchy. So yes, you get past them. They sort of laugh and offer to share undead mead with you afterwards. It's all very pleasant. There's like lots of busting through sort of cave walls things. But we're here in the next scene in front of Nyx, who again is back fashion-wise to that like Cruella de Vil on the runway sort of look. All black and white and long gowns and evening gloves and just amazing shapes and high collars. The hair is completely white and just out and sort of Marvel Medusa touching and flowing over everything sort of vibe. And yes, a previously mentioned Starfield interface.
So awesome. And I think that I'll walk in with Pluto. Are you coming in with coming into this scene with Nyx with me?
Yeah, trailing a little behind, head kind of down. He probably was doing the "you don't need to fight us. You tried so hard." Yeah.
Okay.
You can just rest sort of thing, where he's been aggressively moping his way down this entire trip.
Okay. The scene that I'm picturing is like like there's a scene in the comic in like the first like 10 issues or so where the gods are going to Ananke to basically be told like everything's going to be okay. And I see this as like being like a total flip of that, because like Nyx has not been around. Nyx is not has not been like handling the gods in that way ever since the attack. And so I think that my approach will be like first to try and provide like the smallest amount of comfort, because I think that that'll help get me an answer. And then we can see where it goes from there. So I think I'll come in with Pluto behind me, and I'll see her, and I'll call to her, and for lack of a better term, I'll use the word mother.
What? No. Girl, what are you doing here? I gave you infinite power, divinity to share with the masses. Shouldn't you be out sharing it with them somewhere? I'm busy.
Busy with what?
With problems that have been brewing for longer than your entire family has been alive.
But why?
Why? Why? Because we are chased, we are threatened, we are an endangered species here in the underground, hiding from the rays of the sun, burning to a crisp. And you want to know why? You want to question me.
Thanks, Alex. But me, why? What is this for?
And she sort of comes down, her feet touch the ground. She walks forward and reaches out and touches your cheek with her gloved hand, and you feel like strands of hair creeping up around behind your hair and sort of intermixing with yours. She leans in and says, "You, child, came to me. You begged me, sobbing on your knees for this. You wanted nothing in the world but this, and it wasn't fair that other people should have it. It wasn't fair that you should be denied it. What more do you wish, you pathetic little worm?"
Oh man.
And I think she'll go ahead and give you a condition of crawling ingrate.
I like it. I was going to ask if you wanted me to keep my cool.
I do want that on top of it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to nab that condition.
And I'm interested in hearing, what are you afraid might happen here?
What I am afraid might happen here. Oh God, that's a good question. I should have been ready to answer that when I asked the question.
Well, I mean, like, what sort of reaction do you think would go bad here? What do you think Khonshu could do to screw this up?
Well, I think what Khonshu could do to screw this up is Khonshu could take could fully take the reins.
Nice. I feel that. So yeah, you've got a god here in your face. You feel this like divine power licking over your skin and grasping you. You're afraid someone else might reach forward, so why don't you roll with cold?
Okay, I'm gonna roll with cold.
So much licking.
I can't tell if that rolled. I hit reveal selected. I've been playing too many cards. That's a 4.
Nice. That's beautiful. Why don't what's your darkest move or darkest self look like?
So my darkest self is Your body is a prison. You don't belong inside of it. You need to put it in harm's way and make it suffer, just like it's made you suffer. There's got to be a way to cut yourself out of it. You need to meet your makers and hold them accountable for what they've done to you. To escape your darkest self, you must come to see how someone else feels more trapped than you do.
All right, and just laying it out there because Pluto is behind you. Ryan, do you want to let that go forward, or do you want to try and throw yourself in there?
I can totally try to believe in Kunshu, because I definitely don't believe in myself. But I can tentatively believe in her with all of my non-integrity.
So yeah, you see Khonshu just getting like bowled over by Nyx here. What do you say to back her up?
I just kind of quietly, defeatedly whisper, "I believe in you," but I rolled a 4, so it doesn't
you
help.
don't believe in me at all.
my
You're so
God.
fake, Pluto.
Beautiful. So I think the both of you are very lucky in that you get to mark XP. I mean, who doesn't want XP in this game? It's the best part. And we're going to go ahead and take our first break. And here's a song to accompany me. I'm very excited. We'll go ahead and we'll be back at, say, 5 till the hour, so we'll take about a 10-minute break. And if anyone wants to throw up a second song in there in the chat, they're welcome to. First come, first serve, and go. of a nice. Whoa, Jesus. So much echoing. Words and stuff and things. And, okay, maybe it's calming down. There we go. Yes, I like that we still have a backdrop. All right.
Okay, that's weird. I think the echoing was my fault. Let me try something.
All right, so yes, did everybody get XP for 6 minuses there? We're all excited. We're having fun. Yeah, this is the best. It's all good. Okay.
I leveled up on failure, just to share.
Exciting. Any idea what the future holds for Pluto? We'll see. Whatever feels, most painful in the moment. So the two of you hanging there, nebulous. It'll be lovely. Don't worry. But I'm curious, Angus. You've just been left with this nagging doubt, this feeling that things seem to be going too well with Pluto. This is all right, so something's going to go wrong. And so I think you're going to track down Enma and find Oz there as well. And I'm curious, what do you promise them to get them to come help you find and presumably save Pluto?
Good question. I guess I don't know Oz well enough to know what Oz would want, because I don't think Oz and I have had a scene yet.
Other than other than us watching, making out with each other's, love interests.
Yeah.
So, what do you think you would offer Vesta?
Vesta or
or I'm sorry, Enma.
Oh,
my brains.
Well, I feel like Enma's gonna have words with me no matter what I offer Enma. I think it's a shame that Pluto isn't here to see me lie. But I probably say to Enma first, right? With a very sort of set jaw of I am my own person, making my own decisions. That I will commit myself to Enma for Enma's cause. For a while, we haven't exactly been in communication. I understand why you did what you did, and I've forgiven you. I haven't forgiven you.
So, Enma, I think that's enough to get you to come with Angus. We'll see if that sort of flimsy repeat of a promise he's already broken is actually enough to satisfy Enma.
And I think because I don't know Oz that well, I probably promised Oz Oz's heart's desire, right? Or something vague enough that Oz can cash it in when Oz wants, kind of thing.
Oz, do you think something vague like that would capture you, or do you have a specific demand to make of Angus here?
Oh man, Oz is wait, someone wants to do something that I want them to do? Oh God, the pressure! Oz has no idea what he wants from Angus right now.
And it's enough that I'm taking Enma with me, and you have a crush on Enma.
I'm oh, people are doing things.
So, do you think an offered string there would be enough for you?
Sure.
All right, go ahead and take a string on Angus. And we'll get an amazing entrance from y'all in just a minute. But back to the underground. back to Nyx leaning in Khonshu's face, and things, maybe not going exactly your way. Can you mute yourself, David?
So, sorry, didn't know that I had sound coming through.
Or I don't know, something's echoing still.
Can you hear me right now?
Yeah.
Yes, you can. Okay, my computer is drawing from the wrong microphone. Let me see if I can fix that.
Cool. So, yes, leaning in, hair wrapping around you, things getting disturbing. Let's make it more disturbing. This cloud of hair, it's like moved around. It's sort of a fog that's slithering around you, and you feel it, Khonshu, tightening around the back of your head, around one of your ankles. You feel it, Pluto, slithering up one arm and wrapping around your shoulder. And she leans in close to you, Khonshu. Says, "You, wandering little lamb, just lost alone in the fog. You don't know where to come out of the storm." And she reaches up to her face, and there in the star field, and takes out, seems to pull like a moon in her hand out of her face. And she changes, and standing in front of you is Vesta, who's looking at you, saying, You would do anything to take my place. You would betray anyone. You would stab me in the back. You would give anything just to have what I had, just because I had it before you." And like dripping down your face, and you feel in the hair that's slithering around you like there's blood. These strands of hair are now dripping red. I don't hear anything from you, David, right now, but you're hard muted. Oh, sorry, you're doing internal tests. I'm gonna stop paying attention to you. Go back. I understand computers. But yes, you feel this blood dripping down your face as she pulls her face away from you and back into this fog of hair. And Pluto, right up next to your ear, you hear Eris's voice say, "Why? Why weren't you there for me? Why couldn't you find me? Did you even know that I was gone?" As Eris steps out of the fog next to you, blood dripping down his face from these tendrils of hair that now everywhere are sort of dripping this gore around you.
So I was gonna do other stuff, but do I need to keep my cool, or?
No, we're already in the
Okay.
middle of the both of you having wildly failed to keep your cool.
Sweet. Okay.
Do you have anything to say back?
I do think I'm going to, wrench my eyes away from Eris. Clearly, tears under my mirror shades, which I'm wearing because I'm super cool. You can't see I'm crying. You're pretending or something. And announce to the room at large, because Nyx seems to have disappeared, that, oh man, I'm going to just straight up rip the speech from Labyrinth if I don't rephrase everything. That we went through so much to get here, and the dead should be hospitable. This is not hospitable. Don't you have any respect for the duties of a host?
And Eris pulls back into this the horrible, just gruesome weather event going on around you. And you hear his voice shift. It becomes female. It becomes something that neither of you recognize. As you see Magdalena stepping out of these skins, leaving them behind her. Huitzilopochtli comes forward and says, You just fighting, just weaving your little dramas in amongst yourselves. You're too blind to see anything that's happening. You're worried about your poor dead loves. They're gone. They're lost to you. But why would you even care? None of you even noticed that your God, your creator, has been gone for weeks. As she holds up the eye in front of her, the moon orb. Where are the lost little lambs going to go?
I know what I want to do.
All right.
It's terrible.
Let's hear it, and then I think we're gonna have a big entrance from Enma and company.
Well, I think that this would be a great moment for a big entrance for Enma and company, because I'm going to throw myself at the to the ground at Magdalena's feet and just look up at her and just and plead and say, "Can you take me to Ra?" And just tug at her legs and just begin sobbing.
And I think she reaches out a bloody hand and lays her thumb on your forehead, drawing it in a line straight down, and says, "Maybe I was wrong. Maybe you are capable of learning, child. Maybe you're ready for the glory of Ra." I think now's a good Enma entrance time. Because if you'll remember, Enma, there's a prophecy laying out there on the table that should you attack Huitzilopochtli, you'll definitely win. And also there's some sort of cost, but you probably shouldn't pay attention to that, or whatever. So I'm curious what the entrance here looks like and what you're doing.
Oh, man. I think Enma is coming in on like a pelican being held up by souls. I think you're still going, David. But anyway, thank you, Lauren. Yes, Pelican of Souls. Like this brightly gilded, shining carriage being carried along by these like ghostly, ethereal forms, lighting up the dark, dark underground. In like the brightly shining royal robes. I think there's not only the like big coat and like shining crown. There's like a laser sword and laser scepter. And Enma is now carrying.
Laser scepter is amazing.
It's really cool. You can't actually use it to like support yourself because it just burns the ground, but Enma is never one for like function of a form.
So what do you say?
Oh. I think it's just like standing from on top of these like above everyone. It's called down. Like what mess have you gotten yourselves into?
And Oz coming up behind.
Yeah, Oz is just Oz is kind of like looking up at this palanquin, which he's watched this whole time and is like, damn.
Right. And Angus, what does it look like as you're coming in there?
Oh, glad you asked. Well, so like Angus knows a lot about betrayal and love. Like that's really baked into like his mythology. So I like to think he probably catches a glimpse of like the Eris lie that's like bleeding all over Pluto and telling Pluto how like Pluto is terrible and awful, which is not true. That is in of itself a lie. And I think like Angus is just gonna, despite the glorious speech from Enma and the prophecy about how Enma is gonna lead us to victory and stuff, is just gonna lay like violently into as Magdalene, right?
Magdalena.
Magdalena, yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna lean on your prophecy there some, and I think as you come in to attack Magdalena, you get within a couple of feet of her, and these ropes of bloody hair wrap around you and hoist you up into the air. Say, you weakling little god, you think you can stand up to me? You think you're anything to the gods that Ra creates? You think you're anything to me?
I am everything to me because Vesta saw enough of me to deem me a god, and I value her opinion well over yours, you callous, heartless. I'm not gonna say. I was gonna say what am I gonna say it, but it's like asterisks out in the comic book.
Nice. Enma, are you gonna take her out?
Well, I mean, nobody hurts my devout followers and gets away with it. I think Inma like strides down, like stepping on the backs of these ethereal forms. Sits behind Angus. Says, "You already killed Eris. I'm not letting you kill another person that I have my sights set on." And is going to, with like the extending laser sword, stab through Angus into Quetzalcoatl.
It's like you read my mind on who our innocent victim here was. So yes, laser sword burning and like I think there's screaming and the hair, bloody hair, all sort of like drops as an allusion to the ground / gore laying all over everything because why not? Let's make a lot of red in this comic. And you're stabbing. It goes straight through Huitzilopochtli's heart. Which you see like burning inside of her chest as it catches fire, which spreads through the rest of her, and she screams and goes up and burns into ash and whatnot. But Angus, I'm curious. We're not even going through harm here. This is definitely going to be a when you take your fourth harm die situation.
Would you be open to divine intervention?
Always.
Because Oz's purviews is life and death. I think Angus is going to survive this.
Well,
if that's cool with people, does that sound interesting?
Yeah. If you want to do a miracle.
Was that? Yeah, that's what I was
thinking. What did you have in mind? Yeah.
Like I think maybe we like see Angus die, and Oz like just comes over, and oh yeah, let's make I think he like takes a deep breath and like literally breathes life back into you, without actually like healing the hole in you. It's just you're okay with the giant hole in you.
So, Lauren, what do you want to do? You want to go miracle with Oz, or do you want to go through the skirting death stuff? How do you see this moving forward?
I'm feeling a lot of loss of agency right now.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Let's do the miracle route, I guess.
Okay.
Do you want to? I mean, we have bad at talking about safety tools. I promised myself I was going to talk about it at the beginning. But we definitely have the script change stuff. What do you see differently here?
I think honestly it's hard to roll back because all has happened. So I'm good to move forward. I mean, I'm gonna be alive no matter what because it's Monster Hearts. But sorry, I'm okay.
It's fine.
Yeah, I think a miracle makes sense going forward frictionally.
Do you want to do something differently with the prophecy there?
No, I'm good. I'm honestly good just moving forward. I'm good to like keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what are your choices going to be there on the miracle, David?
Well, I think it's got to take a life of its own because we always need to choose that. And yeah, let's have people see something I don't want them to.
What do you think you don't want them to see?
Oh fuck, this is going to be terrible. Maybe my eyes shine golden while I'm doing this.
Interesting. So you think you're giving off some sign of Suntheonness?
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Pluto and Khonshu, you're sort of dropped and free here. Pluto, how do you think you would react to this?
I mean, probably scream or something because out of nowhere, people getting impaled.
Makes sense.
And there's not a whole ton I can do here.
Khonshu?
I think as I'm taking in like the full extent of like basically half the pantheon showing up and doing this violence. I think that I think that I like what started as like a sobbing begging has turned into like the I was so wrong to come here kind of like sputtering and weeping until I see Oz's eyes go gold like that. And then I think I start crawling over toward Oz.
What are you going for?
I think that I want to I think that there's some other connection that might get me closer to Ra through Oz now, and I think what I want to do is try and get the two of us out of here. Whether that's by miracle or yeah, I think a miracle would be an appropriate way of going about that.
All right. So what does it look like you getting the two of y'all out of there?
So I think that this being the underground and Khonshu having like travelers as part of their purview. I think that there is I think on 1, 2, 3, 4 there's a rumble. And then, like out of one of the stone walls, plows a subway train that I crawl into, and just looking up at Osiris and tugging at his leg and like begging him to come on with me. Just say, Oz, we have to go.
Uh, okay. Uh, I wave goodbye and get onto the train.
So what choices do you want to make there, Barry?
Oh, I have to make choices. I get to make choices.
Yes.
I haven't.
Consequences.
I haven't worked a miracle.
All right. So when you count to 4, snap your fingers, and work a miracle to solve your problems, choose 2 consequences from below.
Someone sees who you don't want them to, and it takes on a life of its own are both very popular.
True.
I am okay with screwing up transit for a whole heck of a lot of people, apparently. But I don't know what else. I think the someone sees what you don't want them to. I have an idea for that.
What wouldn't you want people to see?
What I wouldn't want people to see is, I mean, moonlight is just sunlight reflected. And I think that the silvery glow that Khonshu casts takes a like a golden shimmer.
I think that makes sense, especially as like if you're doing this miracle, this light rises around you, and the 2 of you get into this train car and go off into a glowing tunnel.
Yeah.
Cool. Um, and I think actually, as that happens, the 2 of you get in that train car and it goes off down a tunnel, and that light, it just like overwhelms everything. It blazes brighter and brighter. It washes out the comic page. It like breaks the lines and goes to the edge of the page. And when it clears, all of you are gone from that scene. You've been pushed out. Um, and I'm gonna take another break real quick. Um, Here's a song. It's a repeat from the email earlier, but let's come back at 30 after. Go ahead and take 7 minutes. We'll be right back.
Okay, that was. Whoa.
That's trippy.
Okay, is this better?
That sounds normal.
Okay. I forgot to remute my computer after the break. Um, Yay, running audio through my phone.
Oh, I'm sorry.
David, I'm afraid that I have cursed the game to require phones in way too many people's hands, and I'm very sorry that that's now passed on to you.
So this problem has happened to me before, although I haven't gotten the same echoiness. And I'm pretty sure I just have to reinstall my audio drivers. Although it has the fun of when I'm talking, it doesn't show the right picture of me.
And not on topic, but fair warning that we had a couple small aftershocks during the break. So if I disappear, it's because I need to take cover, but they've been small enough that I'm not really worried. So we're all cool.
If I
That's the
disappeared
Wellington
because
spirit.
yeah, that's I don't know if that was entirely as reassuring as you thought it was.
Also,
I'm sorry, I'm used to earthquakes. They're totally normal for me. And I will not let any one of them knock me out of a game. Fuck you, Earth.
how dare you derail a conversation with, safety after massive, natural disaster?
It's not really a massive natural disaster. We only had 2 roads collapse, and neither of them are near me. So do they matter?
This is where I want to make an Alaska joke and say 2 out of how many roads?
So I'm sort of curious in like stopping off and checking in with the table because I don't know if I'm entirely happy with where this particular storyline is going or going to end up going. And we have an interesting opportunity with prophecies and godly nonsense out there on the table to do something along the lines of like a Groundhog's Day and start back in the bed with Angus and Pluto, having seen like the worst of what could happen and see what happens differently. But that may be me obsessing over something that doesn't need to be. Reactions.
I am 10 bajillion 100% always down for time travel, so
I mean, Alex just wants to fuck shit up. Sure. But yeah, I'm down for choose your own adventure in Monster Hearts. We picked the fail thread, so we back up. And credit to Laura that was in the chat, but it was hilarious. So
Barry, David?
I'm into it. I'm not quite. I don't know. I'm definitely into it, but probably for a different reason than I don't know. I'm not thrilled with my play tonight, so that's a thing. Just gonna put that out there. But
I like
but
you.
yeah.
I think you're awesome.
Oh, I love you, Patrick.
Lauren?
Yeah, totally. If people are down to CYOA Monster Hots, that sounds subversive and fun.
So yeah, I think we have like a comic running in reverse sort of rewinding effect going through the panels, coming out of the blood and the light and the horrible deaths and skin shedding and eyes and hair and so much blood hair, and we end up back in the soft, warming, sort of comforting light of the hanging horror granites in the bed with Pluto and Angus, like staring into each other's eyes in this, like, you can see in each other's faces, like, oh shit, what the fuck was that? Pluto, what do you say there?
Sorry, I was distracted by Barry's suggestion that to continue reading Wictive, title, subtitle, do no wrong, turn the comic upside down. Because that's exactly the sort of medium wankery I would expect from Kieran Gillen. So. No, you
So
do not
much
keep
truth.
chat privileges taken away. Your distractions are amazing, Barry. Own it. Wait, oh, heck, and that's all your minds. And is this after Angus had his pomegranate vision that I attempted to help out?
Yes, you both have horror granite juices dripping down your faces. You're both like coming off
Yay.
that post high what the fuck sort of thing.
That's so gross. I hate it.
It's incredibly gross.
Yeah, I think Pluto just kind of props himself up a bit so he can actually look properly at Angus. Is like, wait, are you okay?
And I think like, oh, I don't know. I feel like you can probably tell Angus is having a weird vision because like his eyes probably went a like purple pomegranate rotten void like, and I think like, yeah, he puts a hand like where he remembers being stabbed, right? And I think like looks down at his torso and sees that he's fine, but still feels like a bit of that phantom pain. It's like, Pluto, please, please tell me please tell me that this will not come to pause. You promised me that.
You're not playing the Fae this time, but
Do
Yeah.
you?
Pluto's.
I guess I could try to. I could try to turn you on if that's
Oh,
what you
sure,
want.
go for it if you want.
So like dripping vulnerability sort of thing?
Yeah, I probably say it very softly, like gazing down at you with pleading, right? Like, I really need you right now, after all.
Just dripping vulnerability and horror granites.
Yeah.
We're dripping a lot of things in this issue.
I do have roll for your party up. You roll these cursed ones. Oh, I got that's a 5 plus my heart, which is 2, so that's a 7. Phew.
Nice. So oh no. Oh, I've lost it all. It's gone terribly wrong. 7 to 9. So he can either give you a string or a reaction. Pluto?
Well, I've got to promise something I think he wants, given that he asked for a promise with his turns went on. So Pluto just kind of gently puts a hand on his cheek and says, "Of course, I promise that this won't happen. It's just a possibility."
Like, you definitely like, feel him sink into it a bit, right? And, like, oh yeah, there's again the quality of like rotten pomegranate juice buffering like that touch. And he like relaxes a bit again. Looks relieved.
So I think we cut and it's over to the flying, floating, ridiculous shard platforms, clock tower, and we see the like bouncing path of Oz's pogo stick going up and again. And we sort of like see the same argument / supplication play out until you're up close, the two of you, and there's this moment, Enma, just looking at Oz when you're like, wait, what? And you get that whole deja vu thing, and you get that like falling into place in the timeline feel. What do you say?
Oh. I did. Did you just? What was that?
Oh. I don't know. Did we really mess up? I mean, I know I usually mess up. Like big time. But honestly, whose horrible idea was it to choose me for this?
All people remember things that happened before as the deja vu starts wearing off. And I think the Enma, you like there's a like scratching in your throat. You sort of cough and you cough up and spit out, and there's just one perfect black little pomegranate hip with a skull floating inside of the translucent fluid there.
Oh my goodness. I have had enough of pomegranates. The gamer just crushes it into their hand. And then with the other one, grabs Oz's collar. And it says, "We're going to see your boss. Now."
Okay. I mean, I'm not sure if she's my boss. She wants to be. It's really
moment,
confusing and
I think all of the screens in the clock tower light up with like that image of like your golden eyes. We're going to see your boss.
Okay. Just a warning, she's really intense. Like really.
Nice. So, Khonshu, you're like on your way to go find Pluto because you need to like get him to lead you down through the underground because you really need to go find Nyx and you need to confront her about what's going on here. And wait, no, you were definitely planning this out in your head, so it feels familiar, but no, now you can remember all of what just happened. And what do you do?
This Nyx is wrong, and this Nyx is not who this Nyx is not who it's supposed to be. And better that our Nyx be nobody than the Nyx that we have. And I don't know. I guess I don't want to end up going down like a similar route to what we already did. So like I'm just gonna put it out there. Like I guess my thought is to go like I know who this person is, and I'm gonna go miracle their ass to the moon.
Yeah, Ryan.
I was gonna say if it helps or something, could we say in this timeline, like Pluto gets the text saying, "So I need to get to the underground," just kind of looks at it and mutes his phone and puts it down again.
That would
because I've got no integrity anyway, so why would I respond to a request for help?
That would work too. Yeah, I don't know where I go from there, but like I'm okay with that.
Well, would you go to find Pluto and try and work this out in person, or would you go herring off to follow your own sort of scheme?
I think I would definitely go and talk to Pluto about this because Pluto is the adult in the room, right? For good or for ill. And if we're going to do something about this imposter Nyx, I don't think that I can do it by myself.
Cool. Then we'll stop in briefly with Angus and Pluto. Sort of talk out between the two of you. What do you think your plan would be? Like, where would you go? How are you trying to do things differently this day? And then we'll have Khonshu show up and find you.
If you have ideas, Lauren, by all means, go for them. I'm thinking that Pluto's takeaway is that he probably shouldn't abandon Angus in the pomegranate grove, because clearly that's where it started to all go wrong.
Yeah, I think likewise, Angus feels that, and
So it's that sort of feeling and realization that the two of you are going to be stronger together than if you go herring off and follow your own little divine inspirations.
yeah, I mean, Angus probably quipped something to like his like a slow like smile on his face, still like with some like stained with pomegranate juice, and looks down at like Pluto like lovingly, but also a little bit frightened, and says like, when I envisioned sacrificing myself to save you, I did not envision it happening that way. In fact, I would prefer if the sacrificing could stop. This needs to stop. We need to do it together.
I would never ask that of you. That's too much. And I wouldn't want you to die for me.
Yeah, I think like Angus probably helps like Pluto to his feet and like sort of offers an open palm out, right? It's like, then with that I feel together we shall go.
Pluto just
no, go.
Nope, you started to say something first. You gotta go.
Ah, curses! I was gonna say, I think as the two of your hands touch, and Pluto starts to stand up, we have this like shot past your hands into the background of the panel. And Khonshu, how do you appear here?
I think that it's I think that like in contrast to the last time that she was on panel, like what was there of golden light is like that is gone. This is pure silver, pure moonlight. That Khonshu is like is backed with, and if this makes sense, I think I'm gonna roll back on some of the empty vessel stuff and put Susanna in. And
Do you think this weird time loop has sort of shocked her awake?
Yeah, and so I think like seeing Angus and Pluto in I don't know what degree of like an intimate moment I've walked in on, but it's but like it is it's time it's time for business, and I think that like you can tell that it's Susanna that's speaking to you, and not Khonshu when she says, I think there's something wrong with Nyx. We need to go see the manager about this.
Can I spend a string on you to give you a condition?
Do it.
Ooh, I love it.
I want to spend a string on you to give you the condition, like awakened or like awoken or something like that, like enlightened, transcended.
I was gonna say woke, but that sounds bad.
Maybe aware.
Yeah, whatever you think is right, Barry.
Cool. Yeah, that will work.
I think Angus meets that expression of like, we'd like Nyx is fucked, everything's fucked, and you see like Angus like makes you a cocked look and a nod of like, yeah, it's fucked. It's unfuck it.
So are the three of y'all gonna head down to change that meeting scene with Nyx?
Hell yeah.
All right. So back over to Enma and their loyal servant. Loyal servant. Where is Ra that you lead Enma to?
Oh, I think Ra is totally like the type of person who claims a park as their domain. Like nice sunny day, constantly at that park, warm weather.
And you see her. There's a lake, duck pond sort of thing. There's like flowering bushes around it, all these sort of like orange and purple and white drooping sort of bell flowers on everything. And you see her like tiny little pixie pale blonde thing, hair like shining almost white in the sunlight as she passes in and out of rays of sun. She doesn't make any particular motion towards you.
They say, "Hey, Gramps."
She'll stop and turn, smile, say, "So, who have you brought to meet me now?"
Well, I was hoping that you and my friend Enma could talk, and maybe that would bring some clarity to those questions I had.
Enma, I'm sorry. I haven't found the time. It's been rude, but I must thank you. You're the one. You secured my release out of a prison of eons, out of a darkness I've been held in for longer than I can remember. What can I do for you?
Oh, you're welcome. I always strive to help the peons.
You strive to help your following, but that doesn't mean you can't accidentally do good.
Well, I'm here to see if some things that have been happening to me are accidents. See, I've got a nice plan of how things should be, but it keeps getting messed up. I wanted revenge on Eris, and that was taken away from me. I wanted my following, and that was stolen from under my nose. Are you trying to pick a fight with me?
Why would I pick a fight with you? You're obviously dangerous and intent on killing your way to the top. You're foolish to get in the way of that.
Do we have to fight? I mean, fighting usually doesn't end up well for somebody, oftentimes for anybody.
It's always ended up well for me.
So far, but no, of course we don't have to fight. You can't help what Nyx did to you. You can't help the lies that she whispered in your ears. I'm here to follow my own path. Think of the light that you could bring to the world. Instead of passing fancy, instead of music in the night, you could bring a shining light to the world. You could bring a laser of truth, of knowledge, of understanding, of development. Why would you follow these simple base impulses when there's so much to be gained?
The only thing I follow is myself. I didn't listen to Nyx's lies. I'm not planning on listening to yours. I came here to see if we can mutually avoid confrontations, or if this delicious soul right in front of me needs to be taken care of.
I mean, what I don't understand, Ra, is you talk about music in the night and shining light and truth onto the world. But don't we know doesn't the world need both?
Certainly. Balance in all things, but the world has had nothing but Nyx's inane nattering in their ears for centuries now. You have no idea the progress that she has held back. You have no idea the miracles of invention that men's minds could have made by now.
Oh, like the internet?
The internet. Humanity could be flying in the stars. You could be transcending above your situations, these frail bodies, all of you. The entire world, all of the human race could be like gods. But no, Nyx has held it back. Nyx has kept it trapped for just a special dozen, just the barest bit that needs to leak out.
Oz,
But
why are you asking Ra these things? You say we need balance, and I'm here to offer it. Why pick one side when you can pick neither? Why are you looking to others for advice? Well, that's what I was here for. Why can't you just trust me?
oh, that hurts so hard.
Do you think you're trying to turn Oz on there, or do you have a string?
Oh, sure, why not? I like rolling dice. I think. Just because I can. Emma's gonna and have like the half royalty, like incredibly bright and shining garments. And then like on the left side have like dark cape, like long black hair. Maybe like I don't know, I'm thinking like villain tights, spandex, the whole shebang.
Nice.
That is an 8.
Okay.
Yeah, a string or a reaction.
I'm going to give you a string because I think Oz should have a bad idea right now. Oh, I've got it. So, right. Nyx, yeah. Totally being banished sucks. I really know. Yeah, that was totally awful. But we need someone like Nyx, so we need a replacement. So I think you and Enma should get married, and Enma can be Nyx's replacement.
What?
What?
I think on that incredulity, we can cut back to the other scene. Pluto, you're the adult here. Where do you think this plan is going? I'm sorry, I've only half kept up with the chat here, trying to talk around what to do.
You weren't supposed to read the chat scheming. We were scheming against you, the GM.
What? I have to scroll back and read it all now.
Ha ha ha. So, like co-conspirators, did we light on something we wanted to do now?
All right.
I think something cool and subversive is where we got to.
Yeah, I don't know what happens when like you take Wictive and be like, maybe not murder someone, but like.
Well, I'm curious. So you have this knowledge that that's not Nyx down there. You have this like knowledge of this ambush being laid for you, and you know that you could kill her, but you know that that just led to tragedy and horror and angst, and also time fuckery. Something there ended in time fuckery. So I'm curious what a different approach would be. As a thing to throw out there, we have lots of threads of like Ra tempting people away from Nyx, but no one's tried to tempt anyone away from Ra yet.
So I'm gonna make a prophecy, and my
Exciting.
co-conspirators can feel free to jump in and clarify or weirdify it if they wish. But I think we see Pluto just kind of space out for a second, and his eyes do that deep, unending cavern sort of thing, as he says, sort of dreamily, that it's not Nyx, and I think what she said was never true and doesn't need to come to pass. We don't need their skulls. We need something else. And if we go for their skulls, we're going to fail every time.
I love it. I'm just not quite sure what to embellish it with.
I mean, there can be spiders all of a sudden, but I don't know.
So I think the point there to get it to a prophecy would be a positive action rather than like, this isn't gonna work. What is gonna work? We'll see how true it is from the roll.
True. I'm predicting failure, but I guess I should predict success.
I believe in you.
Lauren, you are not the unicorn. How dare you steal my moves, even if they are totally your moves.
I wanted to steal the unicorn move. I didn't fail enough because you wouldn't let me fail.
I'm sorry. I'll let you fail more. I just believe in you so hard.
It's okay. I kind of love it. So I realized that I was like, I'm not going to get this unicorn move because I'm believing too much, and that's so lovely and sweet and that Monster Hearts, and I love it.
I love that being a problem with Monster Hearts.
So we obviously have like Nyx and Ra's plan, which is death and fire and skulls and retribution, and that'll work as far as it works. But like, what's the first step of a different plan? How would you approach Magdalena differently?
I mean, fuck Magdalena. She murdered my boyfriend. She can go burn for all I care. But I think... Oh my goodness! Sorry, the chat. I think I'm letting out a prophecy. Probably, like, it ends up being kind of poetic and almost nonsense to a degree, but the gist of it is that if these two eternally unending forces keep clashing against each other, it can only ever create the same result. And we need an outside force. We need maybe the river. Or, yes, Lauren, what do you have?
maybe they need to likewise sup on the rotten pomegranate to see like what their fighting will do to us. Like this mutual death and destruction.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm into it. And Barry mentions having a wild idea. What do you got?
Well, so like one of the things that I was thinking about with Susanna and Khonshu early on was that Susanna was like a perfectly suitable vessel for a divinity, right? And if the problem is that if the problem is one of two opposed pantheons, we literally just had the page turn cliffhanger of two pantheons potentially uniting in like a new interesting way in the A plot. And I wonder what would happen if two gods inhabited the same body. And I don't know if that's a good idea or a terrible one. I don't have an editor, so
I think that sounds like the best idea.
So I just don't know which of the best of us would be or which of the three of us would be the best to take on Huitzilopochtli. I think probably not Pluto. That seems like a bad idea for you.
So it might be cheating, but I think I'm going to prophesy two ways this could resolve. That either an outside force will wash us both away, or that the pantheons have to unite. But anything else will only continue this cycle of fighting forever.
So why don't you roll?
And now I'm gonna fail. Hooray. So, with my 1 integrity, that's a 6. I'm full of shit.
I mean, it was a good idea.
um,
Except, I've got +1 forwards to Father Richards, and... Oh no, I got -1 to Father Richards. Never mind. Ignore.
What strings do you have? Can you spin a string?
I have a string on you, and that's it.
So I think you see that you get this feeling that so what you feel is there's this resistance, like you're looking at the future and you see all of these looping possibilities, and you see like back into past pantheons, and you see visions of Apep and Pluto and Hercules and Sinbad and all of our past people all just like trying these different ways, and it all just leads back to this constant conflict between Ra and Nyx, and you can't find any way to push out of it. But I mean, you're fucking Pluto, and you're the Lord of the Underground, and even like time and prophecy is not going to stand up to you. So you push your mind against these walls. You push your mind against these barriers, and you see it. You see another path, but it's not going to be easy to get yourselves there. Reality is stuck in a groove, and if you want to skip over to a different track, like you really got to give it a shove. And so I'm curious, like, what price would Pluto pay to bust through that wall of possibility to make a new path?
I mean, I feel like that's... Okay, repeating from the chat. Fuck yes, record metaphor. But also, I feel like we're perhaps asking the wrong question, because Pluto will pay any price that is himself, because he's trash and undeserving of all of you, and so on. So he will sacrifice himself to any degree required. But if it's a price that requires other people, I don't think he can quite see it, because why would he put other people in... I mean, why would he put himself ahead of anyone else?
Would you put your divinity at risk?
Oh man, yeah, he would totally risk de-dividing himself and just being Liam Chen again forever. If that was what it took.
All right.
Liam Chen again for the remainder of his 2 years.
So yeah, I think the eyes, the infinite blackness just falls away. And there's Liam's eyes. And you know, he's still wearing like jeans and black and leather, but it's somehow just like jeans and black and leather, and there's not quite that same sort of shine to his hair. And Liam, you can feel this connection to Pluto like stretching, getting thin, that you've put yourself out on a limb. And I don't know. I think if this next move doesn't go right, I think Pluto might have spent all of his energy making this path.
I hate that and I love it.
So, Angus, this has been going on in front of you. Do you have anything to add in there?
How much of this prophecy am I privy to?
I think there's like floating and spouting prophecy out loud, and there's like weird Pluto writing and coloration and a strange font, and like it's all over the top.
Somebody put it all in iambic pentameter, but I'm not paid to do that, so I won't.
Oh my god! All I can think of is like the scene with Keaton Hansen's like "You" played over the top of it, right? um, so that is oh, David. Yeah. Um, yeah. So yeah, that's for sure. Keaton Hansen's "You" playing over the top. It's pretty sad. And I think like again, so it wouldn't be Angus without doing some kneeling. Like Angus drops to his knee. I guess he takes like Pluto's hand again and like presses a very like chest kiss to the back of it, and is like, no matter what the future holds for us as a pantheon, as gods, as people, knowing you was the best part of this time, and I am very grateful to have cherished those moments. For it is not time that matters, nor how much time we have left, that those instances that make up our being, and I thank you for them. I don't know if that triggers a move.
I mean, I could see it turn someone on, or I could just see that being like sweet and adorable.
I guess I could. I feel like I need strength from other people so I can try and help out Pluto. But I can just be sweet and adorable.
Fair. So back over to Enma and Oz. Where did we leave y'all off?
Oz was trying to sell a terrible idea. No, seriously, think about it. We can't give and me and you, we're just people caught in the middle of this, and we're trying to do the best we can. And despite the fact that it's all confusing as all fuck, and Ra, you went through something fucking terrible and need some security, and trust that that's not going to happen again. And Enma, I trust you, and a marriage is a good has always been a way of just bringing two sides together, right? This makes sense. We can bring we can bring light and the heavens and join it with the underworld and make something that's both truthful and beautiful.
I did not claw my way out of an eternal darkness to marry some stranger.
I didn't create my kingdom to just share it with some random sun deity.
Random?
I mean, what's the alternative? You two keep going at it until you peck each other's eyes out?
I have no quarrel with you children. It's Nyx. She's the problem. She's the one that needs fixing.
I thought she was dead. Problem solved. You can quit messing with me. We can live our beautiful lives.
Things are so much more complicated than that, child.
But if Nyx didn't have anyone loyal to her, then she's nothing, right? If the underworld is unified under someone else.
The underworld has never been unified. What makes you think that you could bring all of them together? What makes you think that all of them would leave their creator behind? Makes you think you can even convince this one, pointing at Enma.
Oz, I'm not gonna lie. No one in the underground has any integrity. Not one of my followers has stuck around more than a day.
But is it important that they're always there or that they always come back?
It's important that they're always there. How else can they be my subjects?
Um, Oz has a terrible idea. He's going to try to shut Enma down.
I will fight you.
So
I think so. Oz is going to say, if you demand that we're always there for you, how come you've never been there for us?
oh dear.
The truth. Enma is not ready.
My one weakness.
But I fail big time. That is a 2.
Yeah, so I mean, Oz tries for a moment to have a backbone and sort of stick his head up, but how do you smack him back down, Enma?
Oh man, I think we go full on, like, the pins come out of the ground, grab at Oz's legs to like try and pull him downwards, like sink him into the earth. And Enma just stands there haughtily. It's like, excuse you. You came here for my help in seeking out Ra. You came to me, and I took time out of my precious schedule for you. And this is the thanks I get? You've never been here for us? Fuck you.
So do you think you're shutting him down back, or do you want to lash out physically? What are you doing?
Yeah, I want to shut him down back. How dare you? That is an 11.
I'm so much worse at this.
So on a 10 up, choose one from below.
Oh, wait, that's me.
That's you, Alex. Sorry, I was unclear.
I'm gonna give Oz a condition of ungrateful dead.
Oh my god. That's amazing.
That's really good.
And Ra just she looks at the two of you and shakes her head and says, see? This is what I'm talking about. Can't even agree with each other for 5 minutes.
Oh, I've got to spend some of these strings here. Hey Enma, would you like an XP if you strike Ra right now?
No, I refuse.
Aw.
And because I refuse, we each give each other conditions.
Do I still spend the string on that?
What move are you firing off here, Enma?
I'm the victim here. Another character tries to tempt you and you refuse. You each give the other a condition.
So no, if you're refusing, then the string isn't spent.
Okay. I am going to give Enma the condition outclassed.
Oh
Whoa.
my!
You dare. You dare.
Hey, you're the one who's too afraid to go after Ra.
Not everything needs to be solved with punching people.
What do you fire back with
Goodness.
there, Enma?
You know, no wonder your plans are so stupid. Because you're empty-headed. There's nothing inside that skull.
And the two of you are like squabbling, and it is devolved to name calling. And Ra, like her hair, it just catches light and begins to shine this radiant golden glow as she floats up. And there's light coming out of her eyes too. And she looks at you and says, "Just squabbling. Nothing. Nothing. Just fighting and punching and names and words, and that's all you have to offer, because that's all Nyx has ever taught you." It's very disappointing. And I had an idea, now it's gone. Oh, it's very late at night, you guys. So I think she just like shakes her head and begins walking away. Like this is beneath her. This is nothing of her concern. And the two of you aren't even worth like continuing with. Enma, how does that hit you?
You haven't even reached a conclusion. I think Enma wants to call out and say, does this mean are you going to stay out of my way? Or is this a declaration of war?
It means that I will continue to do as I please. Why do you think that your agreement or resistance would affect me in any way?
Well, I've got a bit of a knack for eating gods.
Keep threatening. Is that all you do? Do you just talk?
Would you rather I put it into action?
Please.
I think this is when Oz has enough. He is the god of floods. So I think the river is going to spout out under Oz and separate the two, washing them in separate directions.
Beautiful. So we have the swirling, bouncing sort of dancing river come up and separate everybody messily to their corners. Back to the underground crew. So are y'all going down to deal with Magdalena? There's an idea of just banishing her, which I bet y'all could achieve. we have a river sweeping the city clean already. Yeah, Pluto, what do you think?
I mean, I think Pluto's game to banish her or whatever by giving up his divinity, but whether the rest of the crew is on board with that, I don't know. I'm down for whatever, basically. I don't think Pluto has good ideas, what with being the adult and all.
Angus, what do you think? Do you think it's talking to Magdalena?
I don't know. As a player, I am very unfamiliar with everything about her. So I feel very
She's
blind.
universally been awful. There wasn't a lot that we digged into her with her personality when she came up before. Doug.
Yeah, all we really established was that she's 100% god and 0% human, and likes ritually skinning people so she can pretend to be them.
Barry.
I forgot about I forgot that there wasn't anything left, which is a problem. That kind of puts the that kind of makes me want to pump the brakes on, like, oh no, godliness, like find yourself a new home, unless we were like divvy up, like, oh, we could divvy up the domains that Huitzilopochtli would have had, so that way we don't have all the human sacrifice in one place.
So
I
we,
like the idea.
split her up.
Yeah, the idea that Magdalena isn't gone, but like you, Khonshu, she was just washed
Merely
over
suppressed.
by this stronger personality, and so you want to pull that power, you want to pull that like toxic personality of Huitzilopochtli out of her, and you think the three of you between you can handle it better.
Well, obviously.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
I love it.
Cool. So, Barry, describe to me what that looks like. Like, we have the scene, you come down, she's Nyx, she's very self-satisfied and threatening, things get bloody, and she starts to try to do some body switching.
There's all the gross hair.
Oh yeah, it's like super gross all over again, but we just get the highlight panels of the grossness.
I think that the way that I try to connect with whatever's left of Magdalena is I'll look her in the eyes and say, I know what it's like. I begged for this. I don't know what you did, but you don't have to keep it. Let it out, and then I'll move to if we can like encircle her, and I'll bring up my finger, or bring up my hand for a 1.
Who gives us a 2?
I can give it
I'll
2.
do it
Oh,
too. Although I don't know if I'm a god, but yeah, Angus can do it.
yeah, I'll do it 2.
Does that mean Liam gives us a 3?
Yeah, and I guess it's just Liam and not Pluto at this point. Crap.
And like she's held between the three of you. You've sort of lashed her down so she can't struggle and keep fighting up against you. And she looks directly up into your eyes, Khonshu, and you see like tears coming down and washing through the blood on her face, and just the smallest, faintest word bubble as she whispers, 4. And you snap, and there's this like, her head tilts back. We're going to continue with grossness for a moment. This like fountain of blood and gore comes shooting up out of her mouth and surrounds and encircles the three of you. It leaves this like sigil branded on your forehead of something that's like a Huitzilopochtli sigil. And I think all three of you are going to take the condition Magdalena's curse. Which
Awesome.
of course is something you can struggle with and get rid of in the future as you see fit.
That'll give me an advance.
But yes, the light, the power, it subsumes the restraints on Magdalena, like you lift them as you see that she's just a person. She's just herself. All that divinity has left her eyes. And she looks up at the three of you, and like through tears, all she can say is, how could I ever make this better?
Go home. Live.
But all of the destruction, the horror, what I did.
Alex, thank you.
Eh,
Fuck. Oh, in character speech is hard now. Help.
She looks up at Pluto and says, "Do you think there's any forgiveness out there?"
I think not even Pluto, but just Liam says in his very defeated voice that I never believed in forgiveness.
Um, and I think she clutches onto Angus's hand and says, I I don't want these things that I've done. Can you take them along with the power? Can you forgive me?"
This blood is on your hands, Magdalene. The things you have done cannot be undone, no matter how much you try. I think we found that out today. And yet, if you want to forget, I have something to ease your pain. I think he sort of like has his hands over Magdalene's at this point and like reveals it to like a spider granite right that he leaves in her palm.
And I think we end the comic with her just like holding it up in front of her face, and you see it reflected back in her eyes as she holds it and considers. And I think that's where we're going to stop. And I have a song for us real quick. If people want to stick around and do some debrief afterwards, that's cool. If you need to leave, that's also cool. But let's take 3 or 4 minutes just to breathe or head out, and come back at 1:38 or 38, whatever your hour time is. Cool.
Well, that was perfect.
Yay. It is the rare example where, despite my best efforts, not all of the songs are horribly sad. So I realized I probably should have stopped the recording before we got here, but that was our end there. It's our end of Do No Wrong. It's the end of this arc, and it's a look at something different that could be for the Pantheon going forward. And I think that's interesting. But I am going to go ahead and stop it.